So there are rumors going around on the web about a potential Persona 4 remake being on the way sometime in the future. And honestly, it's something that does not surprise me, but it's something that has yet to be confirmed by Atlas. And there's been various websites that have been picking up this news and has been circulating these rumors like Vice and other places. And the reason why this rumor is going around because a website domain by the name of pre.jp, which was recently registered, has been fueling speculation about Persona 4 remake being on the way, and it was spotted by a Twitter user by the name of Scrambled Faz. And it turns out that 2 years ago, the same user had found a similar domain by the name of p3re.jp that was registered, and they pretty much predicted and leaked that Persona 3 was going to get a remake and it was going to be re-released. And it turns out that months after that, Persona 3 was announced by Atlas. So if that's the case, and those are and they're both like similar sources, or they're the same source but with different names, and it's been pretty much guaranteed that we're going to get a remake for Persona 4 sometime in the future. I have no idea when. And I'd be a little bit surprised if it came out before. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't be all that surprised if we got this before Persona 6, because at this point, we have no idea when Persona 6 is going to come out. I wouldn't be surprised if that game came out like in 2027, because we haven't seen any promotional art for Persona 6 or gameplay footage or any leaks or anything like that. And and honestly, I feel like Persona 4 definitely deserves a remake. So if you're gonna do Persona 3 and give that a remake, you gotta do Persona 4, because at one point it was the most popular installment within the franchise before Persona 5 came out back in 2016. And in terms of sales, I think Persona 4 did like somewhere around the ballpark of like 2.5 million overall. And I think it was for both the original and the P4 Golden version that came out in 2012. And Persona 4 was released on multiple game systems. It was on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. Um, yeah, Persona 4, the original game came out back in 2008, and they did the Golden Edition back in 2012, and for some reason that was on PlayStation Vita, and I have no idea why, because a lot of people didn't buy or really play the PlayStation Vita. Not that it was bad or anything, but PlayStation was getting crushed in the console wars by Nintendo in relation to like handheld game systems in general. But yeah, Persona 4 is definitely one of those games that needs to be reintroduced to the modern audience of gamers, because it had a really compelling story that was dark but in a commercialized type of way. And yeah, I mean, I feel like the story for this game in some ways is better than what we got in Persona 3, depending on who you ask. And, you know, when it comes down to the Persona series, it seems like Atlas can really do no wrong. They always seem to know what they're doing. They know how to update their older games to a point where you'll have renewed interest in them. And every new Persona game they come out with within the main series is something that people want to sink their teeth into. Now, now, do I see like a Persona 4 Arena remake happening? I don't see that. I don't see the game being remastered or anything like that. And the reason I say Persona 4, Arena may not get remade or anything is because it bombed. Because even though like the aesthetics look nice, and it was one of the very few fighting games that we've gotten within the Persona series, um, it didn't do well on a commercial level. I don't think it did like half a mil in terms of sales, and a lot of people pretty much forgot about it. Doesn't mean it wasn't a good game or anything. It's just that it catered to a niche audience for the most part. But I feel like at this point, the Persona series has become a little bit more mainstream in comparison to where it was 10 or 15 years ago. And I do feel like I do feel like remaking and re-releasing Persona 4 on consoles like the PlayStation 5 or maybe the Switch 2, whatever, it's something that's going to get more eyes on P4, and rightfully so. And yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for Atlas to officially confirm this. I'd be shocked if we were getting the Persona 4 remake before the end of the year. And it's I know for a fact that we're most likely going to get this before Persona 6, but I feel like this is something that we can snack on before, Persona 6 comes out, because I feel like if Atlas is going to do P6, it has to be polished. It shouldn't be broken. There shouldn't be no bugs or anything like that. It should be something that exceeds our expectations, especially considering how popular Persona 5 was when it came out back in 2016. And then you had the Royal Edition, which was also big when it came out, I believe, in 2020. So, like, the Persona 5 series did over 7.2 million copies in terms of overall sales worldwide. And that's a huge number. Like, Persona 5 ended up being way more popular than people expected, and it's going to be hard to try and top that with Persona 6. But as far as, Persona 4 remake being a thing, I talked about it, 2 months ago, and I said, it's something that Atlas should really consider. And if there's any like smoke to this fire and the rumors are true about this actually being a thing, then I'm really looking forward to the P4 remake, which is supposed to be coming out most likely on the PlayStation 5 sometime in the future.